You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. So great to have you along for the ride. Let's see here. Thank you for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, available on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The title sponsor of today's program, the people that bring you this fine program, Booking.com, Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rival's city. Book today at Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. Get Booking.com and get the Booking.com app today, Taijuan Walker, to book a stay somewhere else that's not at all Philadelphia or anywhere near this team in the postseason. Thank you. Out of that one for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a tough time. Perhaps you can help me out with something because I'm really having a tough time here. I can't remember a time where a Philadelphia team has handled something maybe worse than what we're watching now with Taijuan Walker, like an individual instance here, like an individual thing. Like throughout the entire season, I don't think there has been a bigger gaffe in recent memory than the way the Phillies have handled Taijuan Walker this season. Like I was actually going back because the bases were loaded, and I'm like, well, they should have. They're not. I thought they're not going to go to an opener in Tanner Banks and then go to like a guy for 4 innings, like a Kolby Allard, for instance, who's done that earlier in the season. No, what they're going to do is they're going to have Tanner Banks go as long as he can, screeching halt in the 2nd inning. Then they go to the bullpen with the bases loaded, and the man they decide to bring in with the bases loaded is a guy coming off his worst career granted start, excuse me, ever. And certainly as worse as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. So, hey, here's an idea. Hey, all right, bring in Taijuan Walker with the bases loaded and nobody out. Or excuse me, 1 out. That's a great idea. Great idea. Let's do that. Okay, so that's a great way to summarize how the Phillies have handled it. So during that breakdown in the 2nd inning there of Taijuan Walker, I went back and I was thinking about it. And like, how bad have they handled it? Now, for the kids out there that weren't aware of a late night talk show host, there was a guy named Johnny Carson. Okay, I assume most of you know who he is. Johnny Carson is heralded as like the greatest talk show host ever, right? And he had the Tonight Show before Fallon, before Leno, before Conan, before Leno again. All right. And they used to do a bit. They used to do a bit called it was so hot today, right? And it would be like, how hot was it? And then he'd say something that was funny at the time, like, it was so hot today, Burger King was saying, if you want it your way, cook it yourself. Okay, that was the joke, okay? It was hilarious. That joke slayed in 1985, okay? Anyway, I couldn't help but think, when I'm watching Taijuan Walker, like, he is so bad. How bad is he? He's so bad that we knew in the first month of the season that the Phillies had a better option, yet they decided to tell Spencer Turnbull and his 1.67 ERA all the way back in September, all the way back in the first month, all the way back in April. They decided to say, hey, Spencer Turnbull and your 1.67 ERA in April, step aside. We got Taijuan Walker, fee-fi-fo-fum, his way back to the rotation after missing the first month of the season. So, note, injury. Taijuan Walker could not start the season because of injury. Spencer Turnbull pitching lights out. He goes to the bullpen. Taijuan Walker is back in the rotation. What does Taijuan Walker do? I'll tell you what he does. He sucks. First start in the rotation for the Phillies this year. 6 runs, just like that. He goes on in the month of June. He posts a 5.75 ERA. So right away you're thinking, this ain't it. All right. Then he misses all of July, and he comes back in August. So here's another IL stint for Taijuan Walker. They bring him back again, and they go, all right, let's see what you got in August. In August, 9.17 ERA. Finally, they go, all right, maybe we'll just put him in the bullpen. So they put him in the bullpen. And then they don't. Now, this is the moment. At the end of August, it's when I screamed from the top of a mountain. That's right, I found a mountain. I climbed the mountain, and I screamed from the top of it that the Phillies in no way, shape, or form can have Taijuan Walker pitch again in any way, shape, or form again for the Phillies at all this season, period. I made the point, you're not using him in the postseason. You didn't even use him in the postseason and last year, and he was one of the leaders in the major leagues in wins. You didn't even use him then. And he wasn't even god-awful last year. He was just not great last year, okay? You didn't even use him then. Did they shut him down? No. Do they have $18 million locked up in him for this year and next year? Yep, they do. So I understand they're not going to DFA him. So if you're thinking logically as Dave Dombrowski, who, by the way, is the guy I'm more mad at than Rob Thomson, for, like, factually speaking. And Dave Dombrowski decides to not shut him down for the year, a pitcher that is struggling mightily. They talked to this guy. They talked to Taijuan Walker after the games, and he's just like, I felt good. Like, after the Mets game, he's like, I felt good. I don't know. I'm doing everything. I'm checking the boxes. I'm working my butt off, and I'm just not getting any results. That's a man who is absolutely lost. Shut him down. And this is all, like, I don't want the Phillies to just say, hey, here's $18 million. What should we do with it? Light it on fire. No, like, I don't want them to do that. I want them to actually have that money spent wisely. Like, I want Taijuan Walker to bounce back. If Andrew Painter's not ready to go as your fifth starter next year, then I want Taijuan Walker to go out there and do his thing. Or, I want him to do his thing for a month or two, and then maybe you could trade him while still having to pay a good amount of money. But the Phillies, for whatever reason, just kept on putting him out there and putting him out there and putting him out there and not shutting him down. It's the logical, wise decision was to say, Taijuan, we've made a huge investment in you. With that's a lot of money for a guy that at best is a fifth starter. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut it down. And we're just going to hope this offseason you can reset, and you're going to come back, and you're going to come back, and you're going to come back as a guy that can win 15 games, almost like he did a year ago. A guy that could at least get maybe the 450 range of an ERA. That's what we're going to hope for. And then maybe, just maybe, we can unload you next year. I'm sure they wouldn't say that last part, but that's what I'm hoping for. And the Phillies, after August, what did they say? First off, they didn't do that. Rob Thomson talked about how he was encouraged by his velocity being up, and they trotted him out there again, and he got tattooed again. And then after that, that's when he actually made his next start. His first start in September was in a meaningful game against the New York Mets, and that's when he gave up a career-high 4 home runs. Impressive. And one of his worst starts, if not his worst start of his career. Great, good, grand, fine, fantastic. And then the Phillies tonight in a game that actually matters. Like, these games still count. I know the Phillies celebrated heartily last night, and good for them. Good times. All right, fine. That's what you do in baseball. It's still weird to me, but that's what they do. And they come out today, and Bryce Harper goes out there with a first inning home run. Cool. And Mundo Sosa's at second base, diving all over the place. Garrett Stubbs is diving headfirst to get an RBI infield single on a bunt. I say all this to say that the Phillies players, despite maybe being hungover, after partying, hungover as all hell, potentially playing in this game, you decide to tell this team that is still playing for roster spots, still playing for a first round bye into the NLDS. Okay, still doing that. Some contract incentives, I'm sure, are still out there as well, right? You're telling those guys that are diving all over the field, Edmundo Sosa, Garrett Stubbs, Nick Castellanos hit a double and then actually hustled his ass off to get to third on a tag-up situation. All right. You're telling those guys, hey, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to have Taijuan Walker keep on pitching in this ball game. And I know, look, Allard wasn't great tonight. Banks, not great tonight. 3 Phillies pitchers gave up 3 runs, at least 3 runs in this game. All right? So it shouldn't just be focused on Taijuan Walker. I get it. But he is the repeat offender. These games still matter. Having Taijuan Walker pitch in them tells your team it doesn't matter. Magic number to clinch a first-round bye is a combination of 2 wins for the Phillies or 2 losses by the Brewers. Brewers were up last I checked if they didn't already win. So that's where we're at right now in the grand scheme of things in the National League. So where the heck did that score go? Beep, bop, boop. Whatever, I'll find it later. So basically these games count, and you're telling your team to hell with it. Yeah, the Brewers won 7-2 over the Pirates. You're telling your team to hell with it when you have Taijuan Walker enter the game. So I don't know if I've covered the point or not, but Taijuan Walker pitching is a terrible decision. There is some good news, though. There is some good news. We'll get to that in a second. But that was very frustrating tonight. I found myself like, we're not doing three big things tonight. I just can't even right now. Three big things. I'm like a 13-year-old kid. I just can't even right now with three big things. The biggest thing is Taijuan Walker. Actually, no, here's what I will get into, because this did piss me off. And I like Rob Thomson, but this pissed me off tonight. And I go back to the decision in the pitching, okay? If this game matters, and Tanner Banks went out there and did his job in the first inning, and then Bryce Harper got you the lead in the bottom of the first inning, how is it a good idea to have Tanner Banks come out again for the second inning? Like, why wouldn't you just do what you have done in opener or bullpen games, quote unquote, opener games, if you will, where you've had a start, like a opener, right? Orion Kerkering's done it. Why would you say to Tanner Banks, all right, you're going to be my opener, but we're going to see as long as you can go, essentially, and then we're going to bring in Taijuan Walker? Like, that just, to me, makes zero sense. And that is what I think is more on Rob Thomson's plate than anything. I still wish Dave Dombrowski would have shut down Taijuan Walker, because the Topper's not going to do that. So for me, I don't understand why Rob Thomson did not have the plan in place of Tanner Banks followed by Kolby Allard, and then see where he goes after that, because Allard has showed success doing that in the past. I don't know why they wouldn't do that again. See the Seattle Mariners game. That would have been a good idea, but they opted not to do that. The three pitchers I did mention, Tanner Banks, Taijuan Walker, and Kolby Allard. Kolby Allard ended up giving 4 runs in his 4 innings of work. So, yeah, he's not exactly helping my argument in this, unfortunately. But still, 3 of the 4 Phillies pitchers that pitched tonight allowed at least 3 runs. Not great. Not great. Coming up, I'm going to tell you what I'm rooting for other than home field advantage, and also one thing that we could look at that can make you at least feel maybe a little bit better about the Taijuan Walker situation. That's when we return. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back in a second. eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what makes your ride or die live a long time. It's what keeps it alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, LED headlights, so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for with eBay Motors. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride or die every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Here's why Taijuan Walker, the 5th starter spot, shouldn't matter anymore, okay? He's not going to be on the postseason roster, so let's just get that out of the way. And if he does, I guess that's where we meet at CBP to protest. But here's your remaining 4 games of the season. One more game against the Cubs. Christopher Sanchez gets the start. Then you go to Washington after this. Suarez, Wheeler, Nola are slated to start those games. That's the way that's supposed to work. If the Phillies could do themselves a huge favor and go ahead and win those last 4 games of the season, that would be absolutely fantastic. Do that, please. But bottom line is, those 4 names, none of those names are Walker. So we can enjoy that at least. Yeah, by the way, if you didn't notice, 6:05 start time tomorrow. So that's one thing to look forward to. The other thing is, when you get into a game like this, that you're trailing mightily early, 6-2 by the second inning, or 6-1 actually, at the going into the bottom of the second inning. One of the things that's really crazy about it is that I just start rooting for stats. Like I start rooting for guys who have certainly struggled maybe or had injury issues throughout the year. And I start really hoping that they make something happen for themselves. And the guys I was really paying attention to tonight, Trey Turner, like he lost a lot of time this year due to injury, dealing with that hamstring injury. Tonight he's hitting 294. He hasn't hit over 300 at the end of a season in a while. His power numbers are actually, down as you would assume. Hit 26 homers last year, career high. He's at 19. I would love to see Trey Turner get to the 20 home run mark and see him get to over 300 or at 300 for this season. Just little things I'm rooting for. Guys' confidence when they look back at their baseball card or whatever later on. They just see, all right, I had some good years there, and this would be mounting for Trey Turner to see that kind of year for himself here in Philadelphia. After that, Turner hitting 300 or hitting 20 home runs. I wanted, of course, Bryce Harper to get the 30, especially when you had a 30-day layoff between home runs or 30-game layoff between home runs. Seeing him get to the 30 home run mark would be great, not just for the fact that he's also missed some time with injury this season briefly, not a week, but also dealing with the injuries this season when it comes to his elbow and his wrist. Those are things I really want to see as the season winds down, other than the obvious of clinching home field advantage and also a first-round bye. Bohm getting to 100 RBIs would be huge. He's short 5. He could certainly do it. In 4 games left in the season, he could certainly do it. I would assume at some point he's going to get a day off as well, but he's at 100 ribbies. Figure last year, he was at 19 home runs going into the final game of the season. Did Rob Thomson sit him? No. He played him, and he hit a home run to get his 20th home run of the season. Would absolutely love to see Alec Bohm, your newly minted this year cleanup hitter, would like to see him get to 100 RBIs. He's at 95 right now. Kyle Schwarber, now after his 38th home run of the night. By the way, that home run that he hit tonight, that was unbelievable. I mean, I think Crocker described it as chest high. I not to split hairs as a bald man here, but I thought at least shoulder high on that one. And he just tomahawked it to center field, 407 feet, 400 feet even maybe. And it was a 2-run home run. So love to see that for him. He's now at 38 home runs. See him to get to 40. That'd be great. I would also assume that at some point in the last 4 games, he's going to get a day off as well. But yeah, these are the stats. These are what I'm looking for as the season winds down for these Phillies players to at least accomplish this for themselves as individuals. And in the process, help the team win too. Because if Kyle Schwarber's hitting home runs, if he's hitting Schwarbobs, all right, that puts runs up on the board. As long as it's not 10-2 already at the time, it can make an impact. A 2-run home run from Kyle Schwarber. Also seeing solo home runs from Bryce Harper. All right, take more of those as well. If you get 5 RBIs from Alec Bohm over the last 4 games of the season, I'd say it's a nice 5-game stretch for Alec Bohm and the Phillies. So this is what I'm looking at. Again, you need the combination of 2 Phillies wins, 2 Brewers losses to get that first home field advantage and then also first round bye. That's what we're looking at. Cross my fingers for that. Also, after last night, I know, look, if Harper would have been terrible, let's see here. Schwarber went yard, Harper had 2 hits, Bowman 0 for 4. He had a rough night. Turner was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Castellanos was 1 for 3 with that double, and it did score a run. Hayes got a hit. Welcome back. Hayes playing in left field. He got a hit. Rojas got a hit. Like, some of these guys are like regular guys, like regular players, like Harper, for instance, and Schwarber most notably. If those guys are going to have some production in this game, drive in 3 or 4 runs, then no excuses for anybody else who might not have partied as hard as these guys. So that certainly rubbed me the wrong way while watching this game. Seeing those guys put up numbers and everybody else like, we're good. We're fine. No big deal. Again, Banks went an inning and a third. Walker went an inning and 2/3. Allard 4 innings. Tyler Gilbert went out there for 2 innings to cap things off there. Yeah. Cody Clemens got an at-bat. He batted for Castellanos in the 9th. Nothing happened there. And that's pretty much, Hayes came back. I mentioned that. So there you go. When we come back, we'll take your comments on this one, how you guys are feeling about this loss. And what do you think about Taijuan Walker? Do you go to Topper or do you go to Dave Dombrowski? Because when it's an elongated problem, You could also view it as Rob Thomson just extending a middle finger to the front office, being like, he's still here, and you want me to use him, so okay. You can tell me where you're at with that. We'll be back in a second. This is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Oh, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, booking.com, booking.yeah. This episode of Locked On Phillies postcast is brought to you by booking.com, booking.yeah. Explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about, like other baseball cities during the postseason. Hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, so much more on booking.com. You might just find the perfect stay, even in your baseball rival city this postseason. Maybe it's time to taste test your baseball competition stadium. Maybe their cuisine. You want to see if it's up to par like CBP? I doubt it. But luckily, booking.com has you covered for a perfect stadium stay. Stay right around the ballpark if you want in some cities. With booking.com's wide variety of choice throughout the United States, you could go incognito and check out 8 other baseball towns throughout America. And it's not just with baseball, not just the United States. I just use booking.com to book a stay in Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I'm getting away in a little bit. Like a month and a half. Getting away. Got to put the feet up on the beach a little bit, drink out of a coconut, okay? Booking.com can help you book a stay that's close to your home team's rival city as well. No matter what team you're rooting for this postseason, Booking.com can make a fan of any U.S. city. Your hotels, or 4 hotels rather, that overlook stadiums to family-friendly resorts. Cute bed and breakfast as well. Booking.com has so many choices across the United States. Right now, you can stay and become a fan of any U.S. city when you use Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Make sure you download the app as well for Booking.com. Booking.yeah. FanDuel. Gotta love FanDuel. So much fun. FanDuel, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's right, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. As for World Series odds right now, the Dodgers are still going off at plus 330. Phillies off at plus 410. Yankees at plus 450. Astros at plus 750. That's the way that's working right now on FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Check out FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel.com. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat check about this. What's happening, everybody? I need your vibes. Topper is actually great. KGB. Well, that lets me know where you're standing on that. Because now, if the Dodgers win the #1 seed, it's as good as sealed. Topper's bum was like, yeah, Taijuan Walker. He'll get us the win. Brandon Kelly, I like this. I was encouraged by his velocity. That's how I read it. John White, hello. Hopefully tonight's Walker's last appearance in a Phillies uniform. If it wasn't, then it should be Thompson's. That is an interesting scenario. If the Phillies get rolled out of the playoffs, do they just get rid of Rob Thomson? What if Rob Thomson gets fired before Nick Sirianni? Huh. That'd be funny. Michael Evans, hello. I think Topper is a genius. He knows that a week off will make the guys rusty. It was the downfall for the Braves. Our guys will stay on the schedule. They're playing checkers. Topper's playing chess. Michael, I hope you're right. I hope this is I hope that the Phillies win the World Series and we're watching a documentary about this team years from now. And Rob Thompson's like, I knew that. We couldn't use a long. We didn't want the long layoff. We'd get rusty. I knew the team, so we had this guy that year named Taijuan Walker who sucked big time, and no matter how much he sucked, I just kept putting him out there because I knew that if we had that long layoff, we would just get bounced out right away in the NLDS, and I didn't want that. So I just went to the guy that was terrible at his job every time, and there he came into the game and was terrible at his job because I'm a genius and I'm playing chess. I hope I get to watch that documentary of Rob Thomson talking about, yeah, the secret weapon, Taijuan Walker sucked, and I just kept using him. In all honesty, though, that would be pretty amazing. Ken, there's no bigger baby on the team than Bohm. Strikes out in the 8th inning, 0 for 4, and has a hissy fit tossing his equipment. Poor bat boy Adam had to pick up. Oh, the crybaby's met. Wow. All right, Ken. I mean, he's frustrated. I think he shattered his helmet when he spiked it. IBH, just when I thought Walker couldn't get any worse. Well, at least we got to see the Cubs doing a conga line around the bases. That was pretty fun. Evelyn, I mean, the bases are loaded. Of course, you're going to go with Walker, right? Evelyn, I think you and I were tweeting about this. Disaster from that point on. What a crap show after clinching. Are they going to find a 5th starter? Well, they won't need one in the playoffs, fortunately. But next year, I think they're counting on Andrew Painter to be ready. Joel and C, 1C is probably done. They should have gotten that weeks ago. I agree. Idol 76, I blame this season all on Thomson. If they lose to the Dodgers in the NLCS, if they get there. Yeah, last night was my night of just enjoying the Phillies winning, right? And now kind of like reality is set in. With or with, look, if they could have went out there and beat the Cubs 20-0, tonight. And I still have the same thought about facing the Diamondbacks in the postseason, facing the Mets in the postseason. The Braves actually won tonight. Yeah, the Braves beat the Mets. Yeah, 5-1. So that's how that looks right now in the standings. Let me pull that up for you guys. Looking at the wild card. The Mets and Diamondbacks are both 1 game up on the Braves. That's how that works. It's a fun little series breaking out there in Atlanta. Braves could do themselves some huge favors. They got 7:40 or 7:20 start time tonight. It is a 3-game series, and then they got 3 against the Kansas City Royals. The Braves do. Wow. Think about this for a second. The Mets have a incredible 4 games. So they beat the Phillies 3 out of 4 at Citi Field. They robbed the Phillies of being able to clinch the division, and that could be the high point of their season. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. So the Braves took game 1. Oh, my God, I'd love to see the Braves sweep that series. Would love to see the Braves sweep that series. Even though I don't want to face the Braves in the postseason because they're a nothing-to-lose type team. But I know the Phillies have had their number, even with their full roster. And Austin Riley not returning this year. Got a bad, I think, X-ray back. So that's not happening for him, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the way that's working out right now. So this manager has another bullpen game, and it backfires again for what? Like for the 10th time this season? 10th VP. Fair. KGB officer, hello. Farzy can't bench the bar. More like Farzy can't start the stream. This joke will never get old. KGB, I laugh every time. Thank you. Evelyn, ha 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 ha, KGB. You know he's got to make it perfect. Like leaving graphics over his face. I took the graphic down this time. Get off my back, Evelyn. Scheduled loss. I had the same thought. John Crook's Twitter feed had the same thing. Scheduled loss. Andrew Painter can't come any sooner. Hells yeah. Jordan, hello. Walker just needs to be a cheerleader for the postseason. What are we doing? What are we doing? We need that number 1 seed. We need home field. I would agree. Remo K, what's happening? If the Dodgers lose, we're a half game back. Correct. 1 seed ain't over. I agree. This is still very much for the taking. The last person I wanted to see was Tinker Topper. Tinker in the wrong way. MPTR, can't start Wheeler or Nola if we lose the next 2 or 3 games, can we? If they somehow blow the top 2 spot and have to play the wild card game, got to have those 2 ready to go. No, I think they're going to start. I think they're going to take this down to the wire. I think everyone in that locker room, anyone in that clubhouse, everyone in that clubhouse wants the week off. They want week off. They want the first round bye. They want that. SNS, Phillies will start Walker in the playoffs. No. Kelly Betts, I guess they don't care if they have home field advantage. Kelly, kind of feels like that. I don't like it, but that's what it feels like. Woody Buzz. Taijuan Walker is great to give up runs. That's true. Ari, what's up? Peace. Tyler R. The Mets are scary. They remind me of the 2022 Phils. Would prefer not to face them. Yeah, I don't want to face them either. Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Great Phillies win last night. Yeah, last night. Oh, that's right. Bryce didn't party hard. He doesn't drink alcohol. Was he just spraying champagne and beer over people's faces? Tyler R., the home field advantage is huge for Philly. Best home record in the league. So, here's what bothers me. Phillies lost to the Diamondbacks at home in Game 7. Like, that bothers me. That bothers me the same way the Phillies going off for a 7-0 win in Game 3 of the World Series and hitting home runs left and right and then getting no hit. That has made me a scarred fan. Dean, hello. It has to be the last time Walker pitches for the organization, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. We're talking about $18 million here. I don't know. I think it really depends on Andrew Painter's rehab. That's what I think it depends on. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Phillies lose tonight, 10-4. Make sure you guys hit like. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the notification button so that to you, I always start the stream on time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and the notification button for the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to catch Harry Mays and Jason Bertidis on your Eagles game days as well. They got you covered right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia for their postcast. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Once again, hit like and subscribe. Tomorrow, you got Sanchez versus Assad going tomorrow. So let's get the win, baby. Let's win the series. Thanks, everybody. Catch you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye.